set.
Coach, some of the guys were talking about practice Thursday, that it was more intense than usual, and that a lot of it stemmed obviously from previous performances. Can you take us through Thursday's practice and what you got out of it?
Well, the three practices leading up to this game, they were very spirited, and we got after it. We split up the squads. It wasn't starters versus the reserve. We split them up and evenly, and it was very competitive. And just to get into a habit of the type of effort, attention to detail, the things that you have to do just to put yourself in a position to be successful. And I really felt like all three practices leading up to this game was really good. Very physical, high energy, lots of intensity. And as I said before, very competitive. And I felt it put us in position to play really well today, and I'm very, very proud of them.
Yeah, so you believe it transferred into today's game?
I do. I do. We also watched film too. Film tells the truth. And the things that we were doing on both ends of the floor, one of the things that I always say to the guys is that I don't call you out, I call you up. And the reason why I call you up is you should expect more and I expect more of you. And so the things that we were doing previously on both ends of the floor, I just felt like we could do better. I just felt like we can do it better consistently. And I felt tonight our defense was really good. I told the coaches towards the end of the game, I felt like we took a step forward today. James Madison was one of the hottest teams in the country coming in here. And they were firing on everything from shooting threes, points in the paint, offensive rebounds, defensively. They were getting steals, being able to get into the open court, and I thought we responded and played extremely well today.
Coach, what would you say you emphasized defensively that sort of neutralized JMU this game? You mentioned them coming in hot, scoring 90-plus points in every game. What did y'all do defensively to slow them down?
Well, one of the things that we talked about is from a defensive standpoint, you should always be in one of the three spots, either guarding the ball in the gap, being an active gap, getting steals and deflections, or you should be in the midline. And so one of the things that we had talked about is that, from a defensive standpoint, we weren't protecting the paint. And so our weak side defenders were all hugged up on their guys, and even though that, somebody on the perimeter can shoot the ball from the outside, it's important to protect the paint first. And so from a defensive standpoint, we talked about ball pressure, and one of the things that I always tell them to do is pressure the ball as much as you can to the point that you don't get blown by. I talked about being in active gaps and making it look crowded, and I talked about being on the midline in terms of protecting the paint and making teams shoot contested threes, and I felt like consistently we did that today. And then also we didn't turn the ball over, and so that allowed us to be able to set up our defense, and they had to go up against our set defense as opposed to in transition where they can get a lot of easy baskets because they're very talented on the offensive end.
Hubert, what did you see out of Puff today in his season debut? And you got him out there pretty quickly.
Yeah.
He was the first sub in. Like, what did you see from him?
Well, I was really proud of him. It's been a while since he's been out there, and there's some in terms of technique on both ends of the floor that need to be sharpened, but they aren't sharpened. They're not supposed to because he hadn't practiced a lot, and this was his first game. But the thing that I love about Puff that he always brings, and it doesn't matter if he's coming back from an injury or not, he plays hard. And when you play hard, the ball just finds you on both ends of the floor. You play hard, the ball just finds you in terms of rebounding. On the offensive end, it just finds you in terms of offensive rebound, finishing around the basket, and then that three that he hit in the second half I thought was really huge. We were trying to find some rhythm offensively, especially when they were extending that 1-2-2 press. And to have him hit that three, I really believe that's the one that really sealed it. And I'm really proud of him, and I'm glad that he's back out there on the floor.
RJ talked with us about writing his goals down. The whole team did it.
They did.
It was Saturday. Was that something you had pre-planned, or was it in response to kind of the start that they've had?
No, you know what, I just thought about it. I was thinking about it before Thursday's practice, and after practice, I said, look, I asked him to do this. I asked him to write 3 to 5 things of what they want their identity to be. So what kind of defensive team do you want to be? What kind of offensive team do you want to look like? And I said, I think it's important to know what you want to look like, so that when you go out there, you can actually do the things that are necessary to put yourself in that position. And I gave it to him on Thursday, and I told him, I said, look, can you give it to me by the morning of Saturday's practice? Saturday's morning practice, on my practice plan, I had written down to remind them, because I didn't think they would remember. I walked in right before we were doing film and scouting report, and they gave it to me. And I talked to them before the game. It moved me, because one, they remembered. Number two, it was all typed out. It was well thought out. It was like, they took time to do this. And then the last thing that blew me away is everybody signed it. And so before the game, I told them, I said, this isn't a contract. I said, this is a covenant. And I said, the difference between a contract and a covenant, I said, a contract can be broken. Now, obviously, you have a contract for a lease and you break it, there's gonna be consequences. You're gonna have to pay a penalty and a fine. But I said, with the covenant, I said, the difference there, it's an agreement, but it's a promise that through sunny days and cloudy days, that we're gonna stick together. And that's what we talked about before the game, is let's just stick together. And I thought they did that today.
What did you do with it? Where is it now?
It's on my office and I laminated it. I don't know, somebody did it for me. I don't know how to do that. But it's laminated, and then I'm gonna make bigger posters, and I'm gonna put it in the locker room. I want them to see it, and I have it right on my desk, and every day since then, I put it right there. It's up on my desk right now, and I'll look at that every day. It's beautiful.
So they kind of talked amongst themselves
They
to
did.
come up with the...
They did. This is their team. I'm just in a position to manage it. This is their team, and I want them to take ownership of what kind of team they want to become and what they want to look like on both ends of the floor, and what they want to look like in the classroom, and what they want to look like in the community. And so my job is to help and to coach and to teach and to love and to manage this team, but this is their team.
Was it one copy or was it like 12 individual copies?
It was one copy.
So they worked on it together?
They worked on it together.
Gotcha.
They worked on it together. It was extensive, it was well done, it was professionally thought about. I was very, very proud of them. I was expecting a piece of paper with, just
Some scribbles.
some scribbles, but it was great.
Hubert, you guys started off in the first half, 10 assists on 15 made baskets, and kind of got away from that in the second half. But for this team to get where it needs to get, is the first half of how they played offensively
Yes.
like you would?
Yes, in the second half, it was, they played that 1-2-2, and they didn't get any steals from it, but it kind of takes you out of rhythm. And it did take us a little bit out of rhythm. That's something that we need to improve on, because teams are going to do that against us. But I felt like it took us out of rhythm against UNCW as well. And so I agree with you. I think in the first half, the way that we shared the basketball, good to great. It was really good in the first half. In the second half, it wasn't as good, but that's exactly the way that we want to play, the way that we played and shared the ball in the first half.
Take a couple more.
Bacot came out, it seemed like he had a little different purpose in this game, career high rebounds. What'd you like from what he did?
Well, one of the things I always tell the team is this is not an Armando Bacot rebounding game. This is a UNC rebounding game. And so I'm glad we have him. And he's just, his pursuit for rebounds is relentless. It's impossible to box him out. Leaky got double figure. I think this was his career high in rebounds. I don't know, he had 12 rebounds. But Armando needs help, but he was beautiful tonight. His ability to rebound the basketball, defend, his ability to score consistently down low in the paint, got us into the penalty, and we're a really good free throw shooting team. He was fantastic. I thought Caleb was awesome. I thought his defense was great. I thought his rebounding was great. I felt like his passing was great. RJ was terrific, and Leaky, this is a team that was shooting over 50% from three, and Leakey's length, we can put him on anybody, and it just seems like he can guard pretty much anybody out there on the floor.
I don't think we asked specifically what the identity was that players said they wanted to have offensively and defensively. Can you recall, can you share?
I can recall, I'm not gonna share.
Gotcha.
And the reason being is, I think it's for us. One of the things that I have said a lot about is they are trying to figure out how to do this season, and they're trying to figure this out in the midst of the noise of praise and expectation. And I want our team and I want our locker room to be a place of refuge for them, where they feel safe, where they feel confident, where they feel at peace. And I really believe, the thing that needs to stay with us is what's on that sheet. They did it together. I know what's on it, the assistant coaches know, and I think it's something for us. But I'm glad that I'm able to share that they did do this and that it means something to us, and it's something that I think it's going to help us try to be the best team that we can become.
Tyler Nickel knows all their staff and players so well. Does he have anything extra to say for you this week?
No, not at all. I mean, with Tyler, he knows the entire coaching staff and all the players, and I know this was a big deal to play them. I know when the first time that we said that we're playing James Madison, he had a big smile on his face because he has great relationships with all of them back at home. And so I wish that I could have gotten him more minutes out there, but Tyler's been huge for us. His attention to detail, his competitiveness, his ability to shoot. By the time he leaves here, he's going to be one of the greatest players and a great player in Carolina history, and I'm just so glad that he's a Tar Heel.
Take one more, if there is one.
Hubert, you guys had 59 points in the second half against College of Charleston. I know that was a big half, but was today's first half maybe your most complete half?
It was, by far. It was. I thought it was. I thought it was in terms of scoring, attacking the basket through post and penetration, getting to the free throw line, and sharing the basketball. I just, we were making plays, and I mean, it was just instinctive. If one of our teammates were open, it just went there, and without hesitation, and it was fun to watch. I thought we were really good in the first half, and the only thing that I would say in the second half is, and we talked about it, is that first 4 minutes, 5 minutes, we really wanted to come out strong, and we didn't. And I told him, I said, we lost that first 4 minutes. And I said, okay, we gave them the first 4 minutes, let's win the next 16 minutes. And I felt like they responded from that and did a really good job the remainder of the game.
Coach, thank you.